Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's second video. We're going to have a look at the weather next 10-14 days for today's second video. Day 10 will take us to the 10th of October, and we'll be able to extend that beyond that with the excellent GFS and ECM ensembles. They run around a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at CFSV2 at the end of the video for the next one, which gets us more or less to the end of October, and I shall get on with that for you in a moment. Just to say that the first video saves our 6 AM UK weather forecast. So please like, share, and subscribe on both of today's vids. So to everybody for doing that. We have released our final calendar reveal. The GavsWeatherVids 2025 viewer photography wall calendar. That's the front cover of the calendar, of course. So we have reached December 2025, last month of the year. So in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, here we go. And there it is from our good friend Richard. This is from Ricardo. The king of swing, Richard Shaw. And what a nice way to end the calendar. Proper Christmas postcard, Christmas card scene there, I think. So I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Thank you so much, Richard, for ending our 2025 calendar on such a snowy note. Thank you so much to the King of Swing for that. So that's the 12 reveals done, and I think got some absolutely fantastic pictures in there. I'm so happy with how the calendar has come out over all the years that I've done GavsWeatherVids, back to 2012. This is one of the most exciting projects that I've ever worked on, one of the most rewarding projects that I've ever worked on. So I hope you all enjoy, the photos and the images as much as I do. So the calendar is going on sale tomorrow, and how you can order the calendar is to come to GavsWeatherVids PayPal page. The link is in the description with this and all of our videos. So just come to the GavsWeatherVids PayPal page, sign into your PayPal account, and the calendar is retailing the calendar is retailing for £12.50. That is £10 for the calendar and £2.50 postage and packaging. So that's the full price with postage and packaging included. I think that's a very, very fair price. Obviously, we do have to try and recover the postage costs, unlike certain very large retailers such as Amazon, who can afford, to have the cost within the price products. They don't charge for the postage, but we do this bespoke. So it's £10 for the calendar, £2.50 postage and packaging, £12.50 in total. So if you would like the GavsWeatherVids 2025 calendar, sign into your PayPal account and send £12.50 to the GavsWeatherVids PayPal, letting us know, that is for the calendar. We'll assume that anyway, I would have thought. And we shall process your order and get your calendar out for you. Very nice Christmas stocking filler there, I think. So you can let Gav fill your stocking with our 2025 calendar. And thank you so much, everybody. I've already had a couple of pre-orders, and thank you so much to everybody who submitted their photos, whether the photos were picked this time or not. It's been absolutely incredible. The response has been phenomenal. Has some wonderful pictures as well, and we're almost certainly going to do a 2026 calendar, I would have thought, given the fun that myself and James 098 and Almost Like a Boss have had working on this project. So thank you so much, everyone. As I say, the calendar goes on sale tomorrow. If you want to pre-order, you can probably start pre-ordering now, and we'll formally say that the calendar is on sale tomorrow. But thank you so much, everybody. Unbelievable. Wonderful. Thank you so much, everyone. Right, let's start the video then. I'm going to begin in subtropical Atlantic. So after a very slow start to the hurricane season, things have definitely livened up. Interest areas galore. Let's deal with them one by one. We've got Joyce just here, which is tropical depression Joyce, giving maximum sustained winds of 35 miles per hour. Joyce is going to be going post-tropical and dying a death by the middle part of the week. Very short-lived storm, that one. Tropical storm Isaac is up here, giving maximum sustained winds of 65 miles per hour. at the moment. Isaac will be moving northwards into the cooler waters of the North Atlantic and going post-tropical. By the middle of the week, getting absorbed then into an area of low pressure. We probably get the remains of Isaac in terms of wet and windy weather at the weekend. Right, where to now? Okay, so we've got a couple of yellow X's. We've got disturbance. Hold on. Sorry, everyone. We've got disturbance 1 just here with a 40% chance of cyclone formation in the next 7 days. That might become tropical storm and or hurricane. And we've got disturbance 2 just here with an 80% chance of cyclone formation in the next 7 days. That's definitely going to be one to watch. And then finally, we've got tropical depression 12, giving maximum sustained winds of 35 miles per hour with a minimum set pressure of 1,005 millibars. Clicking on 12, this looks like it's going to become our next hurricane, and is predicted to become a major hurricane by the end of the week and into the weekend. Not impacted anywhere directly up to that point, just in the, wider waters of the Atlantic Ocean, but a very significant storm there is forecasted up through the course of this week. If we go up here, we can see that this is forecast to be giving maximum sustained winds of 120 miles per hour in the next in 96 and 120 hours. So that's a category 3. That's quite a high-end category 3. Possible that could strengthen even further, of course, up to 120 hours. It's well truly in business with those maximum sustained winds of 120 miles per hour. It might strengthen further from that, go to category 4, or even category 5, who knows. Definitely going to be one keep an eye on, and we'll be keeping you posted on that throughout the course of the week. Of course we will. Right, central temperature has moved down further. We're now sitting at 14.1, that's 0.6 of a degree above 61 to 1990 average. It's provisional to yesterday, the 29th of September. Looks like it's probably going to land up at 14.0. Could we end up at 13.9? Could we tip that down to 30.9? I don't think we will. So I think if we had an extra day, if we had like 31 days in September rather than 30, we would probably have tipped that down to 13.9. But as it is, I think we're going to end up at 14.0. So we shall find out tomorrow, though, where that has landed. If we do end up at 14.0, and it's interesting, but again, it will be bang on the same CT that it had for June. And that happened last year. June and September both had the same CT. That time it was 17 degrees, so a lot cooler this year. But quite unusual for June and September, 2 years running, come out with the same number. Anyway, we shall find out tomorrow where we're landing with September 2024. These were GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. London today, the red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for London. Starting off around to below average at the moment. We do get a bit of a tick up coming up at the weekend, although it's associated with low pressure heading in off the Atlantic again, probably with the remains of one of those storms. Which one was it? Because I've forgotten. Blimey, that's not very good, is it? Isaac, yeah, probably with the remains of Isaac. We see. Oh dear, my memory's getting pretty bad, isn't it? Probably with the remains. That's all that magic water. Probably with the remains of Isaac, we anything's turning a bit warmer over the weekend, but more unsettled about that in a second. And then through the second week, though, of October, we see the upper air temperature dropping away. Although there is probably a scatter within there, so I've got warmer ensemble members up here, but got plenty of cool or even quite cold ensemble members down there. Precipitation-wise, well, more wet weather to come over the next day or so, but we do get a drier slot opening up from the middle of the week to the end of the week. I say into weekend turns more unsettled again, and next week looking rather wet, unfortunately. It could be turning cold and wet next week. Temperature anomalies from the 30th of September to 8th of October, just a little bit above average, and precipitation anomalies from the 30th of September to the 8th of October. wetter than average for eastern regions. Otherwise near normal or even slightly drier than normal. That's because we've got a dry window opening up Wednesday to Friday. Latest with that from earthnorthschool.net shows that we've got low pressure sitting in the southeastern corner of the country. That'll be heading off into the North Sea and the Low Countries overnight tonight, and then we'll actually build up a little ridge here. So see this break in the low pressure there. That's actually a little area of high, well, a ridge of high pressure. We'll develop into an area of high pressure through the middle part of the week, setting things down for a few days, but then, of course, we've got all this low pressure, including what will be the remains of Isaac, waiting in the wings for the weekend and beyond. Okay, so let's start again with chart data there. This is our latest UK Met Euro is looking for midnight on Thursday. So high pressure dominating over the country, low pressure though out in the Atlantic. We find the high pressure gradually weakening as we go through the end of the week and into the weekend. High pressure collapses, moves away into Eastern Europe. Low pressure then starts heading in from off the Atlantic. So clearly things are much more unsettled over the weekend. As I say, this low pressure does also contain the remains of Isaac as well. And we end up looking like that, very unsettled, with low pressure bringing a lot of rain in from off the Atlantic by the start of next week. Have also got quite a strong blocking signal as well, you'll notice, up towards Greenland and Iceland. It's a blocking area of high pressure that's going to try to force colder air down into that area of the low through the course of next week. Icon then starting off under a ridge on Thursday. How long does it take to break that down? Well, so just about hanging on midnight Saturday, but by midnight Sunday, low pressure advancing in from the Atlantic, bringing outbreaks of rain in with it. We end up looking like that, gets us next Monday, 7th of October, and by then, we're looking very unsettled with low pressure. Bring spells of rain, and notice we've got the remains, one of those features into the North Atlantic by them, remains of a tropical storm and or hurricane. Okay, well let's go on to the KMA, see what that was doing. Once more, we're starting off under high pressure through the middle part of the week. High pressure generally collapsing into the weekend, and then low pressure heading in from off the Atlantic, also bringing colder air onto the northern side of those lows by the early part of next week. Cold and wet to begin next week, and maintaining high pressure up to the northwest all the way to the 12th of October, with low pressure sinking south through the North Sea. Winds making in from the north. So next week looking cold and wet. Well, certainly cold and showery through most of it with the KMA. That gets us to the 12th of October. Oh dear. Well, then we move on to the GFS midnight run. Again, we have that high pressure in the ascendancy through the middle part of the week. High pressure just about holds on to weekend. Then slips away to the east. Low pressure starts heading in from off the Atlantic over weekend, bringing out breaks of rain in with it. Again, the rain particularly focused for Ireland, England, Wales. Not as much so for Scotland, because here we're closer to this blocking area of high pressure up towards Greenland and Iceland. But really unsettled anyway as we get to day 10. Low pressure bringing a further deluge in across particularly more southern parts of the country. Again, got the remains of one of those tropical storms and or hurricanes there around the Azores. The midnight GFS run really strengthening that block as well as we go through the second week of October. Strong air of high pressure in the North Atlantic up towards Greenland. Low pressure down to the south and to the southwest. Generally being held at bay. That remains the tropical storm, of course. Generally being held at bay across Biscay by this blocking air of high pressure, which switches the wind into an easterly. And that'll be quite a chilly easterly. Not cold, but it will be quite a chilly easterly. And then the low pressure comes back northwards. So we're a long way out now, 14th of October, but a real deluge then coming northwards into more southern southeast parts of the country, along with a cold easterly northeasterly wind as well. These are very unusual patterns, I have to say. Cold, wet, blocked, strong northern blocking here up to the 16th of October. with this big ridge through the Atlantic up towards Greenland. How's the GFS 6 said looking in comparison? Once more, high pressure in control for Thursday, and then the high pressure gradually weakening Friday. It's Saturday, but low pressure starts heading back in from off the Atlantic. We turn more and more unsettled through the weekend. Low pressure bringing outbreaks of rain. Should be relatively warm for the start of next week, it's certainly mild anyway. Drove wind up from the south, but we are likely to see spells of rain coming in from the east as well. We've got the remains of that tropical storm and or hurricane lurking here around the Azores by the middle of next week. And as we get to the latter stages of next week, that storm, the remains of it, then starts coming our way. So check this out in the extended range. Wow, we turn very, very wet and windy there by the latter stages of next week. Probably quite mild with the temperature, but academic given the strength of the wind and the rain sweeping northwards. That's a direct hit by that tropical storm and or hurricane. The remains of it won't be a tropical storm or hurricane because we're too far north for that, but you know, a vigorous area of low pressure containing the remains of that tropical storm and or hurricane gives us a direct hit through the last stage of next week. That will just exacerbate all of the flooding problems, no doubt, with copious amounts of rain and very strong winds with that as well, so definitely one to watch there. Goodness gracious, we end up with GFS 6 there, looking like that, trying to raise the heights a bit to the south, so it's a bit warmer and drier by the middle part of October. That's a long way off though. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe, and share everyone for dear man. Drop a comment, let us know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. Don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids, get them to subscribe too. Thanks for showing everyone for doing that. We only put on around 6 or 7 subscribers now to get ourselves to 18.8k. We are so close to our next 100 within 18,000. So please, everybody, subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your neighbour, tell your doctor, your vicar, and tell your mother-in-law to subscribe too if you dare. And thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. We are launching our GavsWeatherVids 2025 calendar tomorrow. Love it. I can't wait. Right, here we go then. Exciting times. Right, here we go then. GM, once more with high pressure in control for Thursday. And then the high pressure gradually slipping away to the south and the east through the weekend into next week. High pressure into the weekend, I should say. High pressure slips over to East Europe. Low pressure then heads in from off the Atlantic, turning properly unsettled through the course of the weekend. Into the south next week, begin to pull down a colder north or northeasterly wind with a lot of heavy rain in the south and the southeast as well. Day 10 looks like that. Bit of a ridge trying to come in from off the Atlantic. I think the days of that are numbered. We're really numbered really with this low pressure. It's going to flatten it off and keep the unsettled weather going. So quite cold and unsettled for the GM for next week. And then the ECM rounding it all off. High pressure again dominating the weather on Thursday, collapsing into Friday, Saturday to Sunday. The low pressure starts heading in from off the Atlantic, bringing a spell of wet weather and cooler weather over the weekend and whatnot. Those very unsettled conditions stay with us into next week. And again, there's the remains of that tropical storm and or hurricane close to the Azores. Will that come up our way and give us a direct hit by the end of next week? I wonder. But as it is with the ECM, by day 10, we've got high pressure in the North Atlantic with pulling in this pretty chilly, if not quite cold, north or northeast wind. And with low pressure sitting in the North Sea, it will still be showery and unsettled as well. This is the precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from termeteo.com. Today's wet weather and tonight's wet weather will move off into the North Sea very gradually in the course of tomorrow. It takes a while though. Not really until Wednesday that eastern regions start to dry out. Then we have a couple of drier days coming up Thursday and Friday. By the weekend, wet weather comes back in from off the Atlantic. Some heavy rain coming in with that. And then next week just looking very unsettled with showers or longer spells of rain and eventually turning colder as well with the showers turning wintry across northern Scotland. Right, so these are the October table within the ECM ensemble today for day 10. from the Icelandic Met Office gets us to the 10th of October. 10 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure blocking towards Greenland, Iceland. Low pressure underneath it. That looks very unsettled, of course. We've got another 10 with high pressure again in the North Atlantic. Low pressure, perhaps a bit more towards our east. That's going to be showery at very least and quite cold. We've got another 10, a further 10 with high pressure in the North Atlantic. Low pressure across the west of Europe. So again, that's looking quite cold and wet. We've got 9 coming chart on the operational run. Again, with high pressure way to the northwest, low pressure to the east and southeast. Cold, unsettled with that too. We've got 7, a little bit drier. High pressure in the Atlantic, low pressure down here. Winds could be a bit more southerly of that, so slightly warmer as well, maybe. And then we've got 5 with high pressure again, just to the northwest, low pressure to the southeast, winds in from the north and from the northeast, and that's likely to be rather cool and showery. Most of the options looking cold and unsettled, I have to say, at day 10. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. Gets us to the 15th of October. 19 members of the ECM ensembles with a blocking area of high pressure towards Greenland, Iceland. Low pressure to our east, winds coming down from the north and northeasterly direction, cold and wet. We've got 16 with high pressure blocking to the north. Winds will be in from the east about. So pretty chilly and probably quite showery for the south anyway. And then 16 more high pressure reaching in from the Atlantic. So it's going to be drier, but probably a bit on the cool side with winds coming in from more of a northeasterly direction. So at day 10, it looks very unsettled and quite cold. Day 14 might see a shift to something a bit drier, but temperature probably staying quite suppressed. And then finally with CFS V2, beats a 500 millibar. High times break down to weak periods. The first weak period is going to take us from the 30th of September to 6th of October. High pressure blocking around Greenland, Iceland. Low pressure is underneath it. That brings the wettest weather in from the south, and it will be quite cool or cold as well. Week 2 is going to be the 7th to the 13th of October, looking cold and wet across the north and west of Europe. High pressure blocking in the Atlantic up towards Greenland. Low pressure through the north and west of Europe. Very, very unsettled conditions there. Of course, week 3 will be the 14th to the 20th of October, with low pressure to the east, high pressure out to the west, winds coming in, perhaps more of a northerly direction. But could be a little bit drier. That trough shifts away to the east a bit. And then finally, week 4 is the 21st to 27th of October. And blocking high pressure remains in the Atlantic and away to the northwest towards Greenland, Iceland. Around that, we could well be bringing wind in from the north, or maybe even the northeast direction. If that is right, we could well be in for a cold October here. Temperature anomalies for week 1 of CFS, 30th September, 6th October, below average. Week 2, temperature anomaly from the 7th to the 13th of October, also coming out with below average, at below average I should say. Week 3 is not quite as cold, but nevertheless 14th, 20th of October, still a little bit below average. Then the cold actually intensifies into week 4, which is the 23rd, 27th of October. Significantly cold on average, not just the UK, but through most parts of Northern and Western Europe, around 2 or 3 degrees below average there. And that's into the last week of October, so by then, we will probably be starting to think about snow showers for Scotland, wintry showers, maybe, further south, and certainly some quite significant overnight frosts as well, I would have thought would be possible with that kind of temperature anomaly in the last week of October. Very, very, very interesting. Could we be in for a colder than average October? We shall see. Time, as ever, will tell. Okay, we're done. If you've enjoyed the video, please do like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much everyone for doing that. Drop a comment and say what you think about this and all of our videos and content. And don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. Get them to subscribe to. So much everyone for doing that. So tomorrow we're going to have a 6 a.m. UK weather forecast. I've got another 10 to 14 day coming up as well for you tomorrow, so please keep checking back to the channel for more. But for this one and for today's videos and content, so for now, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.